How's it going, guys? It's Brian. It is a very, very cold February morning in February, and it's been relatively warm for February for the past couple weeks, but the temperature dropped like crazy yesterday. Eh. So the BRZ is doing pretty well. Really, just enjoying driving it. Getting used to driving a manual car, but it's been pretty great. Not sure if you can tell, but I installed some Mudflaps on the BRZ. Hopefully that's not unkosher. I mean, they are functional. I know it's a rear-wheel drive car, not, a rally car, but when you have a white car, you want to keep it as clean as you can. So, figure they at least have some purpose there. They forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. They are STI logoed Mudflaps. But, I bought them off eBay for about 120 bucks. I like how they look. Hopefully that doesn't count as up badging. But, they're Subaru official parts, like it says it on the box and in the packaging slip and on the parts themselves, so that's pretty cool. The install was I don't want to say it was difficult, but it also was not straightforward either. So the parts did not come with any instructions on how to install them. You'd think Mudflaps would be pretty straightforward. When I installed them on my wife's WRX years ago, I feel like it was pretty straightforward. Excuse me. I think I got it done in like 20 minutes. But these ones, they had steel brackets, and, they talked about drilling into the bumper to mount them and all this other stuff, and I was just kind of a little overwhelmed by it. So I did some searching on Google, found a GR86 forum where someone bought these same style Mudflaps, and they actually posted the instructions on how to install them. So whoever you were on the GR86 forum, you're the MVP. Thank you for doing that, because apparently Subaru wanted to charge $30 for the instructions, which is probably why this vendor did not include the instructions with them. But, it was, so the front was pretty straightforward, actually. As you can see, it's just the two bolts, and then you can't see it, but there's a bracket back there that kind of bolts on the bottom. They just use the factory fender liner holes. Again, pretty straightforward. However, on the back, you also have a bracket, which you use the OEM hardware to bolt onto the bottom. But when it comes to mounting it to the front over here, they want you to drill into the bumper twice to get the right size, and then use their mounting hardware. And I was not feeling that. You can call me a wuss, but I just don't like the idea of drilling into my vehicles unless it's something really, really intense that requires it, and Mudflaps don't fit that bill. So what I did was I bought some of this. This is called VHB tape. I bought it off Amazon. It was like OCD. It was like $6. I was a little weary because the other VHB tape that I saw online was like they were charging 60 to 80 bucks for a roll, but this is genuine 3M tape, and it's definitely heavy duty. I don't actually know what VHB stands for. I'm sure someone in the comments can chime in and tell me, but the precedent is that it is incredibly adhesive and very, very sticky, which is why I wanted it, because rubber is not the most responsive to adhesion tape. I guess because it's somewhat porous, so it doesn't give the tape a good surface to really bond to, but VHB tape specifically is good for rubber. So I just ended up using that on the back mud flaps to kind of mount it to the bumper, and I did it on Friday. Haven't had any issues. It seems pretty securely on there. I gave it a little bit of pressure and it wouldn't come off. So that works for me. I really dig how they look from the profile. Pretty sure they're even. But I mostly got them because, as you can see, the bumper line kind of has this like indent right here. And I'm really not a fan of that from the back profile. I kind of get why they did it. I think because if you continued this lip all the way down, it would look kind of goofy or kind of like round. Like, I don't think it would look great, but this doesn't look, I'm not the biggest fan of these indents either. And I feel like the mud flaps kind of like offset that a little bit. You know, ideally I want to lower the car an inch or two. I'm probably going to go with coilovers this time because I didn't hate my lowering springs, but it sounds like coilovers are the way to go. But on my Mustang EcoBoost, I had lowering springs and they were fine, but I'm probably going to try and go with coilovers this time around. But there's other things I want to get done first. Obviously, I want to get some UEL or unequal length headers catted, installed, to kind of increase that Subie rumble even more. Those are a little pricey, and my wife and I are going to Bali in in a little over a month actually. So funds are on hold for that, for anything modification oriented, because, you know, we got to pay a pet sitter for the dogs, and that gets expensive after a week and a half. So I just do really want to do a more purposeful mod than what I've been doing, because besides the catback exhaust and the front pipe, I haven't really done anything like, in the performance realm at all, if you'd even consider the exhaust that. It's just been like, I don't want to go down the road of just doing cosmetic, and surely not just cheap cosmetic stuff. Like, I already have the mud flaps, I have some interior mods that I installed, and I don't want it to become one of those cars. So, oh yeah, and I installed these little STI valve stem caps. Please don't hate me. But, I mean, it also has the STI short throw shifter that came with the car. So, to be fair, someone with this car already came to me with STI parts on it. So, I feel like it's acceptable to throw some other stuff on there. It's not an STI. I know it's not an STI. I don't have any badges, so don't kill me. But, anyway, it's been a great car. The one thing I'm not digging about it is the clutch engagement point on this car. It's way up on the release, like towards the top, and I really don't like it. I wish it was a lot lower. And at first I thought it might have just been that I'm a new manual driver, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. But apparently a lot of other people also complain that the clutch point on this car is not in a great position. So I'm going to look into adjusting that. Some people buy a clutch spring that's a little bit lower, so I guess that makes the engagement point a little lower. But other people also just take the clutch assist spring out and just run it without it, and they seem pretty happy. So I may look into that. I may buy the clutch engagement or the clutch assist spring modification. I think it's from M-Tech, just to be sure, but I'm hoping that I can just take the spring out and I'll be fine without it. But other than that, I've really been enjoying it. It's a really fun car to have. I don't think I've had a lot of fun with a car like this in a long time. But anyway, I'm rambling at this point. We're coming on 10 minutes, so I'm going to go. Take care, guys.